Hey, this is Walter Jones.
This is Austin St. John.
And you're listening to
Ranger Danger.
In the podcasting life, they must fight to survive. Shackled by the chains of the past. They're the biggest of geeks, cause they watch every week. Subscribe to see if they can last. Go, go, Ranger Danger. We can't ever stop. Go, go, Ranger Danger. Podcast till we drop, probably forever. Yeah, whatever. Ranger danger, Ranger danger, Ranger danger, Ranger danger, Ranger danger, Dino Charge.
Welcome once again to Ranger Danger Dino Charge, the podcast where we watch an episode of the TV series Power Rangers Dino Charge, of course, and then after that, we talk about it a little bit.
We do talk about it. That's what we do.
That's our solemn duty. That is the vow we have sworn.
You know, Matt, we've done 783 episodes of this, and we still haven't come up with a good way to say that.
We're working on it.
Yeah, we'll get it eventually.
It's not high priority, I'm not going to lie. So today, we're going to be watching episode number 783 of Power Rangers, and it's called A Fool's Hour.
Yes, it's also episode 3 of Dino Charge.
That too. Michael, who do you think the fool will be?
That's a really good question. It doesn't really fit many of the Rangers we've met. I guess Chase, the Black Ranger,
Could be considered
is kind
comedic.
of the most foolish of them as far as we've seen.
Sure, yep.
I personally am hoping it's about Keeper.
That seems unlikely.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's not about Keeper, just because I don't want to have to see that strange face anymore that I absolutely have to.
It's a bit... I'm still not used to it yet.
Yeah. Alright, before we start watching, though,
Yep.
I should tell you all that we do have a website, which is www.rangerdangerpodcast.com. If you'd like to send us an email like the one we're about to read out, you can reach us at rangerdangerpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to send us a Twitter tweet, you can do that by signaling us at RangerDcast on your twittering device. We're also on Facebook, and we're on iTunes, and we're on Stitcher, and you can subscribe on YouTube. Plus, we also have a shop, which is rangerdangerpodcast.com/shop, where you can buy some incredible, one-of-a-kind merchandise.
Not one of a kind.
No.
It's all capable of being mass-produced. Technically, if you buy anything other than a laptop skin, it will be one of a kind.
For now. Yeah.
For now, but... it may become 2 or 7 of a kind in the future.
That's right. So it's like limited release for a limited time.
Yeah, exactly. And then it will go into public release when someone else buys it.
Exactly right.
Okay.
Now, Michael, we have an email to read. Shall we talk about our bit of news first, or shall we read the email?
Yeah, let's talk about this bit of news because it won't take long.
Sure.
This is, I guess it's still probably a rumour at this stage.
Yep.
There's a blog on that's a guy named Razzle, or I imagine that's not his name, but that's what he goes by on the internet. Mm-hmm. And he does lots of Power Rangers toy news. So he got a tip from someone else that there is a listing at Toys R Us for a Legacy Blade Blaster.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, so he called, and as according to him, he's confirmed it with a Toys R Us employee, and it has like a price point and like an ID number. So right. That seems pretty legit, and there's no real reason for him or the Toys R Us person to lie.
Sure, absolutely.
So that's kind of exciting. I really like the Blade Blasters.
Yeah, they were pretty cool toys when they were first released.
Yeah.
Do you happen to know what the American price point is?
The American price point is $80.
Wow. Okay. That's a decent bit of coin.
It is. I believe that's about the same as the Megazord.
Sure, yep.
Maybe slightly more than the Megazord.
Okay.
I'd imagine in my head it's like a larger thing than the Megazord almost.
Yep.
Because it's like a life-size device.
Replica. Yep.
Absolutely. I imagine they'll be very popular among cosplayers.
That makes a lot of sense.
And, if it's got some die-cast metal and it's got a bit of weight to it, that could be very cool.
Yeah, I think it would feel nice in your hands rather than being the plastic of the original version.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we've got an email. Now,
Yeah.
this one relates a bit more to Mighty Morphin, but what we're trying to do now is do all of the emails on our Dino Charge episodes. Just because they're more timely, we tend to record the Mighty Morphin ones quite a bit in advance. But the Dino Charge ones, you're going to hear these podcasts a day or two after we record them, basically.
Yep.
So a bit more timely. So I'm going to reach into our space dumpster here, lift up the lid on this thing. Oh, God, we really need to put some sort of assisting
We need
device.
to develop some sort of, internet mail system.
Yeah, that'd be good. If we could get them sent digitally,
Yeah.
that would be fantastic.
Yeah, if you guys could stop sending them through the dark dimension to the dumpster and instead send them to our email address, that's, preferable, probably.
I mean, look, we really value your interactions. We'll take what we can get. If we have to keep, diving into that dumpster, we'll do it. We're not beneath it, but we prefer emails.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this dumpster mail comes from Samuel. He says, "Hello, Matt, Michael, and guest." Jokes on you, Samuel. We don't have a guest.
We
he
sure
says-
showed that guy who wrote into us.
We sure did. He says, "I've been listening to the show in conjunction with my MMPR rewatch, and am almost through Season 1. I'm also watching Dino Charge and cannot wait to catch up with you guys. The reason I'm writing is because I've been feeling really nostalgic lately and have been searching eBay for my old Power Rangers toys. Here are some of the toys that my brother and I had growing up." This one's from MMPR. "He had the Blade Blaster and the Power Morpher. I also had some of the flip heads, definitely the Red Ranger," he says, "and some of the 8-inch Rangers. My brother had a Ninja." I'm sorry, let me try that again. "My brother had a Ninja, the Tiger Zord, and 8-inch White Ranger, while I had the Red Dragon Thunder Zord and Ninja Megazord."
Those
Wow,
are some pretty cool toys.
that's a decent haul there. I'm very impressed. For Zeo, he had the Red Battle Zord, which was about the same size as the Ranger figures.
Okay.
The Super Zeo Megazord, the Gold Ranger, and the one and only Power Rangers monster toy he had was the Mechanizer. Now, he's included a picture of the Mechanizer toy below. It's
This thing is horrifying.
it's pretty scary. I'm not
It's
gonna
like
lie.
a walking tank with a metal skull face with red glowing eyes in the chest.
Looks kind of like a shark skull as well.
Yeah, jeez, that's messed up.
Yeah.
Do you think it's called the Mechanizer? Do you think it turns things into robots?
I think, again, you've probably put more thought into it than the writers did.
Yeah, okay.
It probably just has some mechanical bits on it, so they call it the Mechanizer.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So for Turbo, he says the only Turbo toys I have were the Rescue Megazord and the Turbo Morpher.
Yep.
Man, I love the Rescue Megazord.
Is the Rescue Megazord the one we've got here, or is the Rescue Megazord the other one?
The other one.
Right.
And from in space, I'm pretty sure I had the Astro Morpher and the Astro and Delta Megaships.
Man, if they make a legacy Astro Morpher,
Yeah.
I'm getting the first one. I love that little thing.
They're pretty cool. I'm down with that. I would love a Zeo Morpher. A Zeonizer, I believe.
I think the buzz that I'm hearing is that you may not have a 0% chance of that happening.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. As stated in my previous email, I stopped watching Power Rangers after In Space. A few years later, I saw the Forever Red DVD at Walmart and picked it up. Then Dino Thunder started and Tommy was back. Feeling nostalgic, I bought an original Dragon Dagger and the Dino Thunder Morphers from eBay. In
I don't know,
2000
Matt, do you know what the Dino Thunder Morphers are like?
Yep. They go on your wrist,
Right.
and they have little dinosaur heads. And
Yeah,
when
I'm on board.
when you tap them, the heads open up.
Yeah, that sounds rad. Okay, go on.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. And their morphing sequence is pretty cool as well. It's a good season. I'm really looking forward to it.
In 2020.
That's right. So it says, in 2010, I bought the re-release of the original MMPR Megazord.
Yep.
And just last year, a friend gave me a flip-head Green Ranger still in the box that he found in his shed.
Man,
That'd be worth it, a decent amount, you think.
I can imagine so, certainly.
It is proudly on display next to my Megazord, and rightly so, Samuel. And as I write this, I'm eagerly anticipating the arrival of my Dino and Dragon Morphers. Whew, I think that is everything, he says. Sorry for the long email. No, don't ever apologise for that, Samuel. but I thought it might be interesting to hear about some of the Power Rangers things I've owned over the years. Every time I go to Walmart or Toys R Us, I'm always tempted to buy the latest Morpher and or Megazord, because I know that I'll want it someday in the future. I'll probably have to pay big money for it on eBay if I do. Or I could wait 20 years for the Legacy Dino Charge Megazord. Keep up the more phenomenal work, and may the power protect you, Samuel. That was really nice. Thank you, Samuel. I'm obviously quite jealous of all the toys that Samuel had as a kid, because I only had a handful of Power Rangers bits and pieces.
Yep.
But Michael, you had even less from the sounds of it as a child.
I think most of my Power Rangers toys were from later seasons. So,
Yeah.
I definitely had a couple of those original Mighty Morphin Flippy Head Rangers.
Yep.
But then, I don't know that I had any other stuff until, the in-space toy lines, other than the Turbo Megazord. And I know I
Sure.
had a whole bunch of the Lost Galaxy stuff.
Okay. That's all right then.
I think by Time Force I was, not buying Power Rangers toys anymore.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't, look back as a kid and think, man, I didn't have a lot of Power Rangers stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good.
I had a
I'm
lot of
glad for you.
reboot stuff.
We don't need to talk about Reboot here.
I'm going to start a new podcast with Reboot and Blackjack.
That's fine. You'll be doing it by yourself, though.
That's fine. I'm happy with that. It'll have an even more limited audience than this one.
All right. Shall we go and watch Power Rangers Dino Charge?
Before
Michael?
we do, Matt,
Yeah.
are you hoping for anything in particular? I realised this morning we've only seen one Zord so far.
Yeah, that's very true. I would definitely like to see a Megazord
Yep.
at this point. Other than that, I'm pretty happy with what I got. I'm not demanding anything at this point.
Sure.
You know? I'm interested to see how the two other Rangers got their Energems.
Yep.
But I'm also, I don't care if that happens in 10 episodes. I'm happy to wait.
Sure. Yeah, understood.
I feel perfectly happy with what I've gotten so far. So, yeah, I'm pretty open. How about you?
Yeah, no, I'd like to see a Megazord, but I think if we saw, 2 or 3 more Zords this week, I could hold out on the Megazord for another week.
Yep, absolutely.
But, yeah, it depends. I'd like to see, a cool unmorphed fight.
Yep,
I'm always a fan of those, and
I am too, yeah.
yeah, we'll see. It'd be interesting to see how much Japanese footage is in this week's episode too. After
I'd
2 episodes with very little in it.
I'd expect a bit more, but I guess I'll find out.
Yeah. All right.
And
so-
of course, for the record, I'm always looking for more sword fighting. So if we can get some of that, that'd be good.
yeah, look, I just assumed that people could take that for granted, that of
Yeah.
course we're looking for sword fights.
I mean, we've said that now. We don't have to say it again on the podcast. Always sword fights. Anytime sword fights. 100%.
Yeah, seems reasonable. Okay, so we're going to go watch Dino Charge episode 3 of Fool's Hour.
Yep.
And,
You can too. In fact, we'd recommend it.
Yeah. If you're in America, I believe you can watch it on nick.com. If you're outside America, there is no way you can watch it. It's just not possible.
I certainly can't think of any ways a person could do that.
No, there's no ways to do it. It's a shame, really. And frankly, Saban, guys, pick up your game. Because, we're going to have to fly to America right now, watch the episode, and
Get
fly
on
back to Australia.
The Ranger Danger Jet.
Yeah. Yeah, with our podcast money, we bought a jet just for you guys so we could watch this.
And jet fuel's expensive, man.
Oh,
you don't
you
know.
guys have no idea how expensive jet fuel is. It's much more expensive than torrents.
And I'm always really I feel really guilty about the carbon impact of our jet.
Yeah.
So I have
but,
to live with that.
We make sacrifices for these guys.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, you guys can watch it too, and we'll be back in a sec.
See you soon, guys.
Ranger danger, Ranger danger.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. We just finished watching A Fool's Hour. Michael,
Yeah.
I put this question to you before. I'm going to ask you again. Who was the fool?
I'm not entirely certain.
I'm glad it's not just me, then.
It's very unclear.
It really is. Well, maybe as we discuss the episode and go through it play by play, we'll be able to figure out just who the fool was.
Hopefully.
Or maybe the fool is us,
That's deep, Matt.
because we can't figure it out.
No, I understood.
I'm glad.
All right. Do you want to take it from the top?
Yeah, so we open in deep space
Yep.
on board the ship.
Does it have a name? I don't know that it has a name.
Possibly. I haven't cottoned on to it yet if it is. So Sledge is there. he's got his sort of prison full of evil monsters,
Yep.
and one makes an escape attempt that is
Yes.
quickly stopped. And this is Scrapper, who has the ability to turn himself into like a little claw, like a
Yeah, it's his own hand. The rest of him can disappear, and his hand can ambulate itself.
which is, unique if nothing else.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, but he fails. So Sledge says, "Look, if you get me one of the Energems, you can go. I'll take you wherever you want to go. You're free."
I've got a question, Matt.
Yeah,
He's going to set him loose on Earth to do a mission.
yeah.
Why would he not just run away?
Well, he would be stuck on Earth at least in this instance.
Okay, that's fair enough, I guess.
I think the better question is that we learn a bit further on in the episode that how Sledge returned to Earth was by harnessing like an asteroid that was flying past and like hitching a ride on that, basically.
Yep.
If that is the case and his ship is broken, how could he possibly take Scrapper anywhere?
Or what if he had the Energems?
Oh,
He'd
he'd
have
have power
ultimate power, I guess. Like
Sure.
they give some sort of nebulous power situation.
Yep. No worries. Okay, I can buy that. Yeah, after that, it's opening titles.
Yep. There's quite a bit of sword fights in that opening sequence, I noticed watching it today.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get some more of that in the actual episodes.
Aren't we always?
Yep. So when we come back after the opening titles, we are in the Power Rangers Command Center. Do we have a name for it yet?
Let's call it the command center for the moment.
Okay. And I really like the vibe of this opening scene because it really sort of sets it up as a hangout.
Everyone's already really settled into just being Power Rangers and chilling down there and doing their stuff.
Yeah, and in MMPR, you never get the sense of the command center as a place where the Rangers could just go and be themselves.
No, they go to the command center when Zordon calls them to the command center because they need to do something there.
That's right. Whereas this is very much a hangout. I can see that really appealing to kids because the Green Ranger's there just practicing some flipping around with his sword, which I'm always on board with. Shelby's doing something.
Chase is working on his skateboard,
Yep. So yeah, it's cool. Then Coda emerges from a cave looking like he'd just woken up.
Yep.
That's because he had just woken up.
He lives in the cave.
He lives in the cave. This is the moment when we find out that Coda is, in fact, a caveman.
Yes.
Now, I was kind of shocked by this, that it was such a small deal. Like, it wasn't like an episode-ending cliffhanger. It wasn't a big plot point. It was just like, oh yeah, that's his deal.
I feel like at the very least you could get a whole episode out of the Blue Ranger is a caveman.
Yeah.
But no, he just goes, you're a caveman? And he goes, yes, caveman. And that's basically, they do a bit of like, this is his cave house and his cave paintings. But it's not like a big deal.
Yeah, so they take him, that Coda takes them rather into his little cave area and shows them some cave paintings he's done, which includes one of Fury. Which is
dun.
Yeah, which is interesting because it sets up Fury as sort of an antagonist both for Coda and the Red Ranger.
Yeah, it's cool.
It is cool. But is it Kendall, the scientist lady?
Yes.
Basically explains that the reason Coda has survived for 100 million years or whatever it is.
This is a big one.
Yeah, is because the Energem just basically makes you young forever.
Yeah, if you've bonded to an Energem, you don't age.
Which is another one of those things. It's like, oh, that's kind of a huge deal that you just passed off like it was nothing.
So, can they ever age again?
Well, that's it's kind of a curse in a weird way, isn't it? It's like, no, you never get to grow up.
I mean, yeah, look, the idea of being like 18 forever and getting to be a Power Ranger forever, that's pretty nifty. I'll grant him that.
Yeah.
But at some point, say 2 years from now, it's going to be time for a new group of Power Rangers. Like, are they going to be stuck being 18?
I mean, I imagine from a metatextual point of view, we can feel pretty certain that in 2 years' time, they're going to have the Energems destroyed in their final battle. And then they're going to be free to grow up again. It's kind of sad for Coda, because he's been living for 100 million years as an immortal, and he's going to have to die now.
What would you do for 100... Because that's what they say, is that he found it 100,000 years ago.
Sorry, not 100, yeah.
Right.
That's still an excessive amount of time.
That's an impossibly long amount of time. It's an unfathomable... I cannot understand what you could do for 100,000 years.
And it's interesting because he's obviously picked up a bit of English, but not enough to know what, like, an hour is, for example, as we learn later on the episode.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm not sure what he's been doing this whole time.
You know, you get sleepy.
I guess. Oh, well, maybe we'll find out more about that. Maybe we're being too judgmental early on.
I have a question. I don't think we were Homo sapiens 100,000 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know how that checks out.
Like, hold on, I'm just Googling.
Okay.
Yeah, we were definitely still Neanderthals 100,000 years ago.
Well, I guess the implication is that if not physically, mentally, he's a bit Neanderthalish.
Sure. Can I say, as appealing as it is, him being a caveman, and
Yeah.
it is great, I really hope he learns English soon.
That would be good, wouldn't it?
It's just,
He's
it's
very-
going to get grating.
Yeah, he's very charming at the moment, but yeah, it's going to get on our nerves a little bit if everything has to be explained to him. Because at this point, especially a bit later on in the plot, it occurred to me that what his job really is to be the stupid one for kids.
Yep.
So he can be like, oh, I don't understand. What is going on? And someone can just lay it out for him.
Yep.
And thus for the small children.
But he could have that position and also speak English.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. Yeah,
I
anyway.
feel like he just sleeps in the cave. They could have got him, like, you know, a room.
Maybe he likes it. Alright, so after that, there is an alert on their magic machine that tells them when different things are happening around the
There's
planet.
one point that we missed.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler is going to start working at the cafe upstairs.
Oh, that's right.
They all are, in fact.
And they're talking about how they have to balance the menial tasks of flipping burgers with saving the world. But I keep forgetting her name. Is it Cassidy?
Kendall?
Kendall, thank you. I was close. Kendall basically explains that that's the best way to keep their secret identities.
Yes.
Is to, you know, have regular jobs so people don't suspect anything,
Yeah,
basically.
because you wouldn't assume that the 5 colour-coordinated teens who work above a dinosaur museum would be the 5 colour-coordinated dinosaur-themed superheroes. That would be ridiculous.
Crazy talk. Yeah. So yeah, there's an alert on their little beepy bloopy thing. And here we get some of Kendall basically doing the mentor role stuff. Like, Keeper's not there right now. So she's saying, there's a thing happening, you need to go deal with it. And as much as Kendall's kind of grating at the moment, because she's just mean to everyone, at least that means we don't have to deal with Keeper all the time. So I'm kind of torn.
There's kind of a nice beat when they reveal that they're not going to age.
Yeah.
Shelby goes like, you know, I get to be 18 forever, this is rad.
Yeah.
And Chase comes in and goes, I get to look like this forever, that's great. And Shelby and Kendall kind of bond over Chase being a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that being a thread that continues.
I hope so. It'd be nice to see them bond over something.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, they get the alert. There's something going on, and they have to run. And this is like an ongoing thing in this episode. Run to where the alert is in the middle of the forest.
You know, that's where the alert is. You've got to get there quickly. That makes sense. So, in the forest, Poisandra is there.
Yes.
And she's introducing her husband-to-be, Sledge, who arrives in like a crappy CGI jetpack shot.
I do appreciate this scene though. Like, these guys have some like WWE level stagecraft.
I'd like to call this episode thoroughly unnecessary escalation for episode 3. Every part of this episode is like the classic show would have done this over a dozen episodes.
Yeah.
And they do a whole lot in one episode.
Yeah, and it's all very dramatic as well. As much as a lot of stuff early in the episode gets played off as not a big deal, they basically meet up with the leader of the enemy, which doesn't really ever happen properly in Mighty Morphin.
Like, they punch him in the face. He gets punched in the face.
Yeah,
In
and
episode 3.
it's very satisfying that he's a very real, tangible presence.
Yep.
He's not away on his spacecraft and dealing with stuff remotely. He really gets in and like in the middle of it.
Yeah, they're taking
And I like that.
advantage of having the American suit there and being able to just have him on set.
Absolutely. And I like that as much as Poisandra is probably going to get a little irritating.
Yeah.
They do have a bit of that Lord Zed and Rita dynamic where they're obviously, a couple and a team, but they also sort of like antagonize each other slightly and have that energy to bounce off each other.
Can I just say, floating in space for what we believe to be 65 million years, you'd get married eventually. Just to stave off the boredom at the very least.
Well, if nothing else, they clearly have a rock-solid relationship.
I don't know that that's how I'd word it.
Well, they made to stay together for all that time.
I guess. Mind you, we don't know how many times they broke up and got back together.
That's true.
They might
But
have
like,
done it 65 million times.
at that point, I think we could just call that dating for 65 million years.
Fair enough.
Like, once you get to the 65 millionth time, it's just on permanently.
And
There's
that's
no going back.
relationship advice with Matt and Michael.
All right. So yeah, they have this confrontation with Sledge, and they have a weird morphing sequence in that they don't really do their proper.
Yeah, so
morph,
Sledge
because-
shoots at them with his gun, his laser
Yeah.
gun, and there's some explosions. And Poisandra goes, "Oh, you killed him." Cut to commercial break. And when we come back from commercial break, we reveal that in the smoke of the explosions, they morphed while we couldn't see them.
Or to put it another way, the 5 heroes of the TV series weren't all murdered halfway through their 3rd episode.
It's surprising, I know, but,
Yeah.
shocks like that you just have to get used to in the show.
Yeah. But, like, it's a cool... I like that whole morphing when under pressure.
Yep.
But it does take away from... Like, we don't actually get the morphing sequence. And that happens again a bit later in the episode as well. And I'm worried that they'll use that as an excuse to keep skipping it.
Sure.
And just be like, oh, look, they're just morphing, like, in a flash. And like, no, I need that sequence. It's a tradition.
So there's some other interesting stuff that actually happens before they morph. Fury is standing on a hill, like off in the distance, and Coda can like smell him, which is, I guess, a caveman power. Keeper shows up, and he basically shows up to say, "Hey, Sledge, you're not going to get the Energems," and then just fucks off.
Yeah, I felt kind of bad for the Rangers at this point, because he arrives, and you get this feeling like, oh, shit, here he is, he's going to take care of business.
Down. Yeah.
And then he just leaves.
Yep. He disappears into smoke. It's kind of a cool effect. But
It is a cool effect. But it is also pussying out.
And
So
it's all we see of Keeper this episode.
yeah.
It really feels like, oh, shit, we haven't put Keeper in the episode yet. I guess he could show up and then disappear.
Yeah. I don't know.
He does say the Energems belong to no one. Given that he's been keeping them underground in a special cave for 65 million years, it kind of loses a bit of the impact.
Well, he hasn't, though. The only one we don't know how long it's been there is it Chase? The black one?
Oh, yeah, Chase is the black one.
Yeah, so Chase's one has been there an indeterminate amount of time. Coda's had his for 100,000 years.
Oh, that's true, and I suppose we've seen the others discover theirs.
Yeah, the others only turned up in the past week or so. So
Yep, fair enough.
yeah, I understand your point, but I think he's probably more protecting them from Sledge rather than keeping them necessarily.
Yeah, that's how it starts. And then
Although
all of a
his
sudden
name-
it's, I'm not going to let anybody else have them.
His name is Keeper. Like, it's kind of his whole deal, keeping things.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they morph, they start fighting just all the monsters.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I'm glad that they got their asses handed to them in this scene.
very
Because-
quickly.
If they were able to trounce all of the monsters, then there would not be much threat for the Rangers for the rest of the season.
You know, they have to lose this fight because
Yeah.
that's the only way that we can get any kind of implication that those guys are actually a threat.
Having said that, though, they each take a few hits and then are knocked out of their Ranger powers.
Yep.
And this happens again to Tyler a bit later in the episode. And for me, it has the effect of making the Rangers not look very hardy.
It does feel a bit flimsy if, like, 3 hits can take you out.
That's right. And I think, like, you are the Power Rangers. You don't have to win, but they are powerful, ostensibly. And if they're getting knocked down like ragdolls and just can be tapped out of their powers, yeah, it makes it seem very I don't even know what the word is, but they feel kind of hollow, I guess.
I think the interesting thing is that the way these scenes happen, it seems less like it's the appropriate narrative thing to happen, and more like in the next bit they have to be unmorphed.
Sure, yeah.
So, whereas kind of you could do those scenes where they just get knocked down and are morphed, we need them very soon to have their costumes off. So we might as well just do it now.
Yeah, I hope this doesn't become too common.
Sure.
But I guess we'll see. Go and jump to conclusions.
Yeah, so Sledge gives them 1 hour to hand over the Energems, and after that he's just going to blow up Earth.
Yep.
Which will lose the Energems, so, smooth move there.
If he has the power to do that, they've probably got a more immediate problem than people finding the Energems.
Oh, such as a dude who floats in space and hates them and can destroy their planet.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
It's something that needs to be dealt with. I'd certainly say that.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if that comes up ever again, or if that's just a once off. Maybe he can't do it. Maybe he was bluffing. I don't know.
Yeah, well, he probably was, because we're going to learn very soon that that's actually not what he wants at all.
Yeah. So at this point, they leave, and Tyler says that he has a hunch and he should follow... Fury, thank you. Follow Fury, and the other's like, no, we have to get back and start planning. But Tyler's adamant he's going to go and follow Fury. And Chase basically says, look, let him go. If he doesn't want to be a part of the team, that's fine. Tyler leaves to follow Fury, and the others rush back to base.
Yep.
Now, I want to point out again, rushing back to base does not mean teleporting there.
No, they, run back to the base.
And this seems like an incredibly inefficient way for the Power Rangers to get about. Like, if they can't teleport, that's fine. But I hope they get some form of transportation soon.
Some of them have got trucks, but the Power Rangers all rocking up just in a truck. It's not quite the same.
I just don't want them to be legging it everywhere all the time.
Whatever the name of this town is that I've already forgotten, it's a small town. You can get anywhere in a couple of minutes' walk.
Yeah, well, I hope so for their case. So that happens. Tyler follows Fury and has to do some parkour over rocks to keep up with him.
He's a tall fellow. He's got a long stride.
Yep. And Fury almost notices him by smelling the smell of humans. But before anything comes of that, he meets up with Sledge, and they very loudly speak out their actual plan.
Yep.
Which is to have Scrapper follow the other Rangers back to their base so they can find out where it is, and then blow it up.
That's a pretty good plan.
It is, actually.
If it weren't for the fact that Fury, for some inexplicable reason, was lurking on a separate hill, it would have worked entirely.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was at this point that I figured out that all the villains are emotion-themed.
Ah,
right?
Okay, because there's the sad one.
Yeah, there's the sad blue one, whose name I'm sure we were told, but I don't remember.
Yep.
There's Fury, whose thing is, I guess it's
being
happiness.
furious. Yeah.
There's Poisandra, who is a great big pink love heart.
Yep.
And is there someone else?
I don't think so, but I haven't been paying that much attention.
There might be someone else. And then there's Sledge, who is an original creation and thus doesn't have to follow the rules.
No, he represents the emotion of sledging people.
Is that an emotion?
Well, when you feel the need to, disrespect someone in a certain sort of way, that's considered sledging. So it's a very specific emotion, I grant you, but it can work.
Yeah, I don't think it's one of the 7 deadly sins. But there's not lust, wrath, greed, sledging.
Yeah, there's also not being sad in that list.
Yeah, okay, no, that's fair.
Yeah. Anyway, so Tyler's overheard the plan now, and he's also going to have to leg it back to base.
Yep.
And hope that he's legging it is a bit faster than the other Rangers legging it, so their secret isn't blown.
Yeah, another thing we could call this episode is nobody has mobile phones.
Yeah, so it's interesting that Tyler goes to use his communicator, but sees that it's cracked and broken and isn't working. Which is also the first time we get informed that they have communicators at all.
Yes.
So it's sort of just up to us to realise that that's a communicator.
You know, I think that's fine. I think kids are on top of it enough.
Yeah, you'd hope so. But that's not sort of what the dialogue indicates later in this episode. So he gets back to base and isn't quite fast enough. He sees the others entering the base and also sees Scrapper watching them do it. So Scrapper's found them out. He knows where the base is. This is a problem. And he sees Tyler there and he's like, okay, I'm going to go tell Sledge now that I've seen your base, you're screwed.
Because he doesn't have a mobile phone either.
No. So he goes to leave. He just turns himself into his little arm and holds onto the back of the truck. And hitches a ride out. Tyler jumps into his red Jeep.
Yep.
And hauls after him. And Scrapper gets as far as to get to his rickety little spaceship.
Yeah, it's like a little shuttle.
Yep, that he's going to ride up to Sledge's base. And he's just about to take off.
Holy shit.
When Tyler just broadsides him with the Jeep and smashes the thing
man.
across the car park.
That was... Oh, yes. This
kinda
show
brutal.
gets me, man.
It's like, if it wasn't a ship that guy was in, I think it would have been too much for kids' TV.
Yeah, I think there's a version of this show where that was shot in slow motion from inside the space shuttle. And, slow piano music started playing.
Yeah. It's pretty messed up how hard he hits this thing.
It's great.
Anyway, it wipes out the shuttle. Scrapper gets knocked out, and Tyler gets ready to morph.
Yep.
And fight. And he does so, but once again, we don't get a proper morphing sequence. He just clicks his thing and he's morphed.
No, Matt. He flips through the air and morphs in the middle of his flip.
Yeah, that's alright, I guess.
What is wrong with you?
I need morphing sequences, Michael.
I wrote flip morph, flip morph, flip morph in my notes.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. Enough for both of us. I'm okay with that.
He morphed in midair. That's some cool shit.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, he lands and they fight it out. And it looks like it's going Tyler's way for a little bit until the
Sad one.
Saddy guy
Sad face.
jumps in and just deflects a powerful blast from Tyler's gun.
His name appears to be Wrench, Matt.
Oh, that's disappointing.
It doesn't really... Apparently he's a mechanic.
Okay. So Wrench is there. He cries for a bit. But between the two of them, they seem to have the upper hand, and Tyler is being quite soundly beaten, to the point that he gets, once again, knocked out of his Power Ranger-ness and turned into just a regular dude.
Yep.
But back at the command center, the team have noticed on the scanners that there's some alien life outside, and Tyler. Now, the Rangers, being canny guys that they are, figure out this is probably a bad thing and rush out to help, but not before... Kendall?
Kendall.
Yes! Got it.
You're going to get there eventually.
I got it. Kendall tells them that they have developed a new power-up mode for them, which is, to me, I was shocked, because this is very early in the season.
They've morphed once.
Yeah, but they've already got a power-up mode.
It's called Dino Steel. It gives them a spikier bit on one shoulder and some sort of right-hand glove-based weapon.
They all basically look like construction equipment weapons on their hands.
Yeah, dinosaur-themed construction weapons.
Yeah. So anyway, they head to where Tyler is. They do their first proper morph of the episode, which is interesting because this time they're actually within that sort of nebulous morphing realm when they do it.
Yeah, it's our first proper stock footage morph.
Yeah.
So they've got black jumpsuits on.
Yeah, that's right.
In some sort of magical, mystical space land.
Yep. So yeah, that's cool. Finally get a proper morph, and then they immediately use their Dino Steel abilities.
Yep.
And they get their new costumes. So that's Fantasy Zordon points for everybody across the board.
Yep. Entering a power-up mode.
Yep, that's right. And then they resume the fight, basically.
Can I just say, when they kind of show up before they morph, they shoot the monsters to stop them from killing Tyler.
Yeah.
As they run up to Tyler, Coda keeps his gun on the monsters, even as he, kneels to check on Tyler.
Yeah.
It's, that's a cool thing.
Yeah, it's a good attention to detail.
Yeah,
That's it.
he's just making sure that if they were to start attacking again, he can get off another shot.
Interesting, too, though, that the caveman who doesn't know what an hour is has a pretty good handle on being a marksman with a revolver.
He's had 100 million years, or however many many years it was. And they get the gun as soon as they discover the gem.
That's true.
Can you imagine how absurdly powerful he could have been in any period between 100,000 years ago and now?
Yeah, that's why he hasn't, been killed all this time.
He has a laser gun.
He's been a Power Ranger the whole time.
A laser gun at any time point, even up to now, makes you the king of the world.
Yeah. So it's really sad on one hand because he can't ever love anyone because they'll just grow old and die on him.
Hold on, we went deep really quickly.
But on the other hand,
he's got a laser gun.
So probably about equal. Equal? Yeah. I think equal.
So Tyler learns a valuable lesson about... It's not entirely clear what his valuable lesson is.
No, I don't think it is either.
If you've got a hunch, tell everyone. But
when I was looking at the Fantasy Sword On scores, I was like, I think Michael's going to claim for that one. I don't know if that's legit.
Yeah, so Tyler kind of learns a valuable lesson. Chase also kind of learns that listen to hunch. I don't know. I mean,
it is a nebulous moral lesson, isn't it?
If it was
even
more
Coda
obvious,
rightfully gets confused at this point.
If it was more distinct, I'd say Chase is definitely learning a lesson.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure on this one.
I think you could make the case that the lesson he learned is to trust his teammates a bit more and trust their instincts.
Sure.
So, I think maybe we'll give Tyler that one.
Chase.
Sorry, Chase. Chase that one.
Tyler was already trusting his instincts.
That's right.
You need a little diagram, don't you? With just their colours and their names.
No good with names. That's right. I'll get it. I finally got Kendall's name this episode. That's one.
Sure. So. 6 or 7 episodes from now, they'll introduce a new one for you to not know the name of.
I'll try not to think about that. Yeah, so back to the fight.
Yep.
It's a lot. Once again, a lot happens in these fights. It's very easy to lose track of what happens. Now, by my reckoning, neither the blue or green Rangers really defeat a Vivix on screen. They both get some good hits in on the actual monster. But I think the only one that really defeats a monster is the Pink Ranger.
Yeah, I think that's true. Chase got in a few in the first fight that they had in the park.
Well, in that fight, most of them didn't seem to defeat any of the Vivix. They all got sort of knocked down, but none of them exploded. They all just seemed to get knocked back.
We might have to take that one to the tape and check that one again.
Sure.
But, yes, certainly the blue and green Rangers attack the monster of the week rather than attacking the little Vivix.
That's right.
So, it's time to summon some Zords.
Yeah, so before the monster even grows, Shelby decides to get her Triceratops out. And what did you think of this reveal of where the Zord was and that whole sequence?
I like it in theory.
Yeah.
I don't know that I love it in practice.
Yeah.
Although the bit where it just, launches out of a mountain with its spinning tail first.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of that part.
That's pretty cool. I think with these sequences and the Megazord fight in general, it's this weird mix of practical and CG. And because it's so frantic and all over the place and quickly cut, I never really get a sense of place. I think one of the good things about the original Zord sequences was because it was all practical, everything took a little while to occur and it was pretty simply staged.
Yeah, they were just a big open space with two dudes punching each other in the middle of it.
Yeah, and even when the Zords were coming out, they were just moving past the mountains or something like that.
Yep.
But it really gave you a sense of place. Whereas this, it all seemed very, I don't know, hollow and...
I think it works a lot better in the Megazord sequences.
Yeah.
I think because at that point you're less worried about kind of where stuff is in relation to each other, and you're more just watching those two things interact. But while they're all small, yeah, I don't know, it doesn't quite click for me.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, maybe it'll improve as time goes on. Shelby gets out her Triceratops and just wails on some dudes.
So it's got a drill tail,
Yeah.
which it demonstrates by boring a hole through two giant Vivics.
Yep, that happens.
Yeah,
It's brutal.
I love this show.
Yep. Then they manage to take down Scrapper. I think it's Tyler that gets the final hit on this one.
Yeah,
It's using a charge from Coda's gun as well, isn't it?
yes. So Coda gives Tyler one of his batteries.
Yep.
Tyler puts it into his gun, and now his gun shoots a blue and red beam instead of just a red beam.
Yeah.
Which, I like it in theory, but I'm just worried that there's so many possible combinations that we're never going to get used to seeing them do stuff.
And I think because everything is made to be such a big deal, like everything has a little announcement. We get to this more in the Megazord sequence, but that announcer guy has about 30 lines in the space of 2 minutes.
They kept him busy.
Yeah, they sure did, because every time something connects with something else, or there's a charger going somewhere, it's an announcement. Maybe it's just me being an old man, but it does seem kind of, ADHD, like very...
I think part of the issue, too, is we haven't progressed from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers through them learning CGI and quick cuts.
Sure.
We've skipped forward 20 years.
Yeah.
So we haven't kind of gotten used to this style of thing. We've just jumped straight into it. We are much like Coda.
In more ways than one.
Yeah, in that we are not going to age and that we both look really good with our shirts off.
That's categorically false.
That is, yeah.
I look good with my shirt off.
Do you?
No. I appreciate you giving me the benefit of the doubt.
I don't know that I've ever seen you with your shirt off. It's possible that you're mega ripped.
Yeah, I don't think that's accurate.
Okay.
I do alright.
Sure.
Anyway.
Other people don't know what we look like, so imagine that we both look as good as Coda.
Yeah. So at this point, they defeat Scrapper, but that's not over yet,
No.
surprisingly enough,
No.
because Sledge asks his minions to hit the Magna Beam. is
Magna
it?
Beam, yep.
Yep. Oh, look at that. Can't get Kendall, but I can get Magna Beam.
Yeah, Magna's things.
Which is just a big red button that says fire, which is fantastic.
I really hope that there's like 12 buttons there that all say fire and just fire different beams and rays and weapons.
That would be very satisfying. So the monster grows, and at this point, Kendall is like, oh, I just figured out how to make the Megazords go together.
Yeah, they got really lucky.
Yeah. This rings a little false to me, because when they go together, you can see that they're clearly designed to do that. So it doesn't make Kendall look like some sort of clever genius. It makes her look like someone who's passing off the fact that she gets to tell them something that they could already do and pass it off as her figuring it out.
I think the issue for me is, as far as we know, she's never seen the red and pink Zords before.
Yeah.
Like, she saw the red Zord probably last week,
Yeah.
but this is the first time the pink Zord has ever been summoned, potentially.
Yeah.
I just feel like if that had been framed as she goes, hey, combine your things, I think they can do a thing,
Yeah.
that would work better than, oh, I've just discovered that they can do a thing. She hasn't been like
absolutely.
staring at the blueprints for 6 months going, no, but if its tail flips up, it can do this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. Anyway, the Stegosaurus comes out because Coda's the one who gets to participate with Rexy the T-Rex.
Do you not like that?
Rexy.
Yeah.
No, we discussed this last week.
I kind of like it. It's grown on me.
I'm glad it's grown on you. So yeah, Coda calls out his Stegosaurus, which hangs out in, like, Antarctica, I guess.
None of them ever hang out nearby.
No. But it's cool. For some reason, I like the caveman having it like an Antarctic sort of...
It can travel much faster than they can, clearly, because it gets there like straight away.
Yeah, they need to hitch rides on those Zords, man. So it comes out and they form the Megazord, which involves them like firing canisters into each other. And...
Yeah, the actual Megazord sequence is another one of those blends of CGI and live action.
Yeah.
And the live action stuff just looks so much better.
So much better.
And the actual sequence itself, I'm kind of meh on. The Megazord, rad. I'm down with the Megazord. The Megazord is dope. The sequence,
I'm kind of already a bit over these freaking canisters that fire everywhere into everything.
A little bit, yeah.
It's just like they don't need to be everywhere. You lose the effect of how cool they are when they have to be a part of literally everything that happens.
Yeah, I mean, the Ranger keys from last season,
Yeah.
I think they just used them to morph.
Yeah.
If they'd used them to do attacks and to summon the Megazord and to make the Megazord do attacks, you'd have gotten sick of them.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, what I'm hoping is that over the next couple of episodes / the first half of the season, we're going to see them discover a couple of other canisters that they've got.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of exciting of, like, which one are they going to use?
Because at this point, they seem to all do different things despite being the same canisters. Like, one canister can do all these different things.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, that's not special. That's just, like, Deus Ex Machina.
They don't have a Morphe one and a gun one and a Zord one. They've got, I mean, I guess they're like batteries in that they can power a whole range of different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sold yet, but, you know, it's got time to win me over.
Yeah. They summon the Megazord. There's a bit of a fight. I don't know how much you want to go into this. It's pretty stock standard.
Yeah, the physical stuff, as always, works better than the CGI.
Yeah. As soon as it starts, like, turning into CGI and, like, flipping and rebounding off buildings, it suddenly loses all of its weight in the scene and just looks a bit shitty.
Yeah.
You know.
I think the CGI would be better to, like, make it just do attacks and things that you can't physically do.
Yeah, and I think I'd rather the CGI do the things around the Megazord rather than take over for the Megazord every now and then.
I mean, I understand that it's probably cheaper to just do an all CGI shot when you're doing that stuff.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I get that you maybe want the Megazord to be able to do a flip. Like, I understand that, but just reconsider. It doesn't look as good as when it's just punching things.
And look, at this point, I'm just grateful to have some physical stuff at all, really.
They've definitely figured out that physical stuff in the last 20 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, that old Mighty Morphin stuff, as great as it is, most of the time it's just like one wide shot of the two of them punching each other. We're getting angles and close-ups and, like, weird shots that look cool.
Yeah, it's impressive. But yeah, they have a bit of a fight, and then it comes time for the finishing blow. Oh, actually, before we get to that, can we talk about the cockpit for a second?
Yeah, sure.
I miss controls.
Yeah, kind of.
And I know that the White Tiger Zord works this way in MMPR, where it's basically just mapped to Tommy's movements.
Yep.
But to me, that's never going to be as satisfying as just like some joysticks. And again, maybe that's old man syndrome.
Yeah, that feels like the sort of thing, like, you're hoping that they're like the video games from when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And kids these days have got Wiis and Kinects and...
That is very true.
They're like, they think the coolest thing you can do is have... Why isn't there a game for the Wii where you're a Power Ranger and you control the Megazord by punching things?
Yeah, it seems like a pretty easy...
If that game doesn't exist, I'm writing a letter because I'm going to make it myself.
Okay. You're going to get sued.
Yeah, probably, but, you know...
So that happens, and then finishing move time, he jumps up into the air and shoots out a beam from the T-Rex head on his shoulder.
Yeah.
This is another thing I was a little dubious of. For some reason, firing out of your shoulder seems a little awkward to me.
Matt, everybody has a cannon on their shoulder. Don't you have a shoulder cannon?
Oh, maybe I just haven't discovered. I need to discover my body.
Have you ever put a battery in your mouth? That's the trick. You put the different batteries in your mouth. Duracell does one thing. Energizer, whole other thing.
All right, well, I'll experiment with sticking things in my orifice and I'll report back.
Maybe be careful how you report back on that.
Okay.
We're still kind of a kid-friendly show.
That'll be our first video podcast.
Oh,
The last 50 minutes will be the trip to the hospital.
oh boy. Okay, let's move on.
Yep.
So yeah, they destroy Scrapper.
Scrapper. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, sure.
Yep. And that's pretty much it for the episode, except now that we're back in the kitchen of the cafe at the Dinosaur Museum.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are bemoaning the fact that they're now flipping burgers, but Tyler's pretty happy. He's pretty chipper about the whole thing.
It's interesting because Coda and Chase, prior to last week, seemed to be employed as like general handymen / research assistants.
Yeah, they've got a very broad job description.
Proper jobs. This week they are just working in the kitchen.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's odd.
Coda is humming, and I'm 98% sure he's humming the Kaiorayuja theme.
Oh, that's really interesting.
I'm
That'd be cool.
pretty sure he is, and I'd be willing to bet proper money that Yoshi Sudaso, his actor, is just doing that because he loves this show.
Ah, that's really cool.
He's like, you know the dance that they've cut out of the morph?
Yeah.
There's a video on, I think, his Instagram of him doing the full Japanese morph, including the dance.
What a cool dude.
He's a proper fan, and I'm really glad that he seems to be having fun.
Yeah. We should see if we can get him on one day. That'd be really cool.
That would be incredibly cool, and, we can only hope.
See how we go. Yeah, so...
In fact, hold on. Tweet at him. Say you'd like him to come on this show.
Absolutely. If we get the fans involved...
Yeah.
I'm sure
Your
we can make
fans.
it happen.
Our fans.
That's right. What? But why did you have to specify that?
Well, not his fans. I mean, his
I
fans
see.
as well.
Well, I'm sure our fans are his fans now.
That seems likely. It's twitter.com/ or just at Yoshi Stunts. So, Yoshi like the green dinosaur, stunts like stunts.
Yep. All right, so back to the coda of the episode.
I'm taking a Fantasy Zordon point away from you for that.
Hey!
I'm joking. I'm giving you a bonus one. That was incredible.
Perfect, thank you. So Tyler's flipping a burger. It goes up in the air, but does not come down.
No, he has broken gravity.
Yeah, that's right. This is a dramatic turn of events. Oh, wait, no, it's just in Coda's mouth.
It's kind of cool. I kind of like it.
Look, I liked it up until the point. So it pans out, we see that Coda has it in his mouth.
And has a colossal grin on his face.
Yeah. If it cut there, very happy with the scene. But then he spews it out.
Yeah,
like,
I'll be honest.
not vomits it,
No,
but
he just
spits it out.
bits of meat go flying everywhere.
And at that point, Shelby goes, ew, gross. And it was pretty
I'm
gross.
with her. I'm with her. It's not great.
Probably a bit too far, but that's fine. Look, if this was the biggest sin the episode commits, it's nothing on Bulkwood Skull. I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting, actually, that we haven't seen a human supporting cast for them yet.
No, I think that this is it. I think they're sort of...
That's fine. There's enough of them.
Oh, totally.
And there's going to be, more. 5 more of them over time.
Yeah.
I don't know that they need... I guess the only reason I'd have liked some other guys is so that when they get powers, that's really cool.
Yeah. But we don't know that that's going to... I do expect that Kendall is going to become a ranger at some point.
Yes, almost certainly.
I expect that we're going to get that anyway.
Look, all I'm going to say is she's got a purple background in her bit of the opening credits.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's that.
But imagine how nice it would have been if they'd had a Vulcan skull, and in episode 17, they get powers and become useful members of the team.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah, so that's the episode.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too. Probably not quite as much as the first two.
I'm worried they're cramming too much in.
Sure.
And I hope the reason that they're doing that is because they're skipping a bunch of early episodes of the Japanese footage.
Yep.
And so they need to get this stuff out of the way before they can show the other stuff later that's got the stuff in it already.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
No, I'm with you. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, so, creature feature.
Yes.
Where are we going to put Crusher?
he had a thing
Yep.
in that he did his was his name Crusher? Scrapper.
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 Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, I think he goes above the Ice Guy.
Ice Age.
Ice Age.
Yeah. But he's definitely below Fury.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So so Fury, Scrapper, Ice Age is the list at the moment.
Would you rank any of the others yet? Or give him a bit more time?
I think more time. It's a bit early, yeah.
Okay.
And I think with all the others, they're going to come back. There's no rush.
Yeah, that's fine. So, Fantasy Zordon.
Yes.
Just a reminder to you guys that we're extending the Fantasy Zordon entries. You can enter until the end of February. So that's only
right.
a couple of days at this point. Obviously, if we let it go too long, you'll be able to choose just the team that are already doing the best.
That's right. You have an unfair advantage. We don't want that.
Yeah, so get to it this weekend probably, because that'll be like your last chance.
Yep.
That's rangerdangerpodcast.com/fantasyzordon.
That's the one. All right. So as I said earlier, by my count, the blue and green rangers on my team didn't really properly destroy any Vivics because there's no Vivics. What looks like being destroyed in that first fight.
Okay.
And there was no combo weapons. I got 2 points for Coda for being part of the Megazord formation.
Yep.
2 points each for both Coda and Tyler for getting the power up that everyone got.
Yep.
And besides that, it's just 2 points each for my two rangers who won in the episode, bringing me 10.
Yeah. I think we're going to have to... I think definitely Shelby destroys more than 5 Vivics.
Yeah, I think in that second fight, she
gets a CGI shot where she just takes out a couple of dozen of them.
Yep.
And she also gets 2 points for the Megazord formation and 2 points for her power-up mode.
Yep.
I think we're going to have to go to the tape on Chase and those Vivics in the first scene.
Yep.
Because I'm not sure, and we'll come back in a second and tell you what we've decided on that.
Yep.
He gets 2 points for entering a power-up mode, and I think he gets 3 for learning a valuable lesson.
Yeah, I think so. I'll pay that.
And then Aqua and Silver obviously don't appear, which brings me to 18 points for this week.
Wow, and that's counting those Vivics for...
That's not counting those Vivics.
Wow, 18 points.
Yeah, I had a good week.
You did have a good week.
Right. I'm sure next week you'll have a good week.
We'll see, yeah.
All right.
All right.
Did you have anything else, Matt?
No, that's it.
I'm continually excited about the direction this show is taking.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy so far.
Yeah.
I have a few minor quibbles this week, but as I said, if this is what we can expect from the show, I'm very happy.
Oh, sorry. One last thing.
Yeah.
Yoshi's third most recent tweet is that he was humming the Kyaranger theme song in the final scene.
There you go. Nice pick.
Yep. Okay. All right. I guess we'll be back. We'll be back on Saturday with a Mighty Morphin episode.
Yep.
I think what we're up to now in Mighty Morphin is Green No More.
That's right.
And this two-parter breaks us, guys. It's... Oh, boy.
You're going to have a good time listening to that one, guys.
Yeah, so make sure you tune in for the next couple of weeks when we cover the 2 parts of Green No More. But we'll also be back on Wednesday with episode 4. I can't believe we're already up to episode 4.
Yeah, it's gone fast, isn't it?
And that's called Return of the Caveman. So I suspect your Blue Ranger is going to be earning some points.
I do hope so. Well, come on, Coda. You can do it.
Yeah, all right. And we'll see you guys next week.
Fantastic. See you then, guys.
Ranger danger, Ranger danger.
Hi, Ranger Danger fans. Michael here. We took the Fantasy Zordon Chase's Exploding Vivix points to the video ref. We've decided it definitely shoots the Vivix. They don't explode. And what we think is that exploding should probably be the benchmark that we're using just to keep it consistent. So, as of this episode, we're not giving Chase the Black Ranger any points for Vivix. If you have a real problem with that, it screwed me over too. We will be consistent with the ruling from here on out, so that's just the way it's going to be. Yeah, that's all. Have a great week, have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon. Bye, guys.